Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Kale. Today we're back to the reaction video. That's right. We are once again continuing with the complete history of the Ninjago characters. We're gonna do the complete history of Skylor, 2015 to 2023. All right. So you know the drill. It's by OverLloyd, and yeah, let's dive on in. All right. Wait. There we go.
Skylor, how did you? Hiya, hotshot.
Wow.
Skylor, you're the one with the ability to. Yeah.
Pythor's
From
scared.
Chen's evil daughter to the owner of his noodle shop. Skylor Chen is the current elemental master of Amber as well as the daughter of the late Master Chen. Born with her mother's elemental power of Amber, Skylor has the ability to mimic the elemental powers of others for herself. However, she was still shown to be a capable hand-to-hand combatant even without powers. Skylor was originally mysterious and secretive to others, working only to please her father, but changed when she fell for Kai and became allies with the ninja. But with that out of the way, I present to you the complete history of Skylor.
Background.
Skylor was born to the previous elemental master of Amber, and at one point she unlocked her true potential.
Season 4. Torment of Elements.
Accepting her father's proposal to participate in the Tournament of Elements, Skylor aided in recruiting the other elemental masters. She was later present at the pier when Klaus arrived on Chen's ferry to take them to the island. Upon looking back at Kai, he became interested to learn more about her and fought in her defense when Karloff tried to fight her for her cloak. After Klaus stopped the fight, Skylor helped Kai to his feet, copying his powers in the process. When the ship docked, she was the last to get off the ship behind the ninja. Trying to impress her, Kai shoved the others out of the way, though she paid no attention to his gesture. After Chen explained the tournament rules and had his kabuki show the elemental masters to their rooms, Skylor formally met Kai after he discovered her room was right next to his. Kai showed off his element while asking what hers was, though she didn't reply and gave a small laugh when he let the fire in his hand get out of control. When the tournament started, she and Kai raced towards a jade blade on the roof. Although she came close, Kai threw her off the balcony and went back to save her, throwing her to the jade blade and causing him to go after one Karloff was finding. In the throne room, she and the other ninja were shocked Karloff had the last jade blade, but cheered after Kai took the jade blade and won. Later, Skylor came out of her room while Jay was coming to Kai's room and narrowly missed seeing the blue ninja after the red ninja pushed him off the balcony. After comforting Kai about what happened to Karloff, she called him lucky for having his friends to back him up. Kai then went back into his room and waited for Skylor to do the same before going back out to help Jay. Soon after, Jay found eye holes leading to her room, and Kai, upon hearing from the Master of Lightning that she was training, went up to see her element, though Cole assumed he was falling for her. Just as they were about to leave, Jay and Kai saw Skylor blast out a jet of fire, causing them to make the false assumption that she and Kai were related. Skylor didn't fight in any of the following matches, though she did worry for Kai upon seeing that he was meant to fight. She didn't see the first two matches between Griffin, Gravis, Nero, and Belobo, but saw Kai's match against Ash. Kai encountered many close calls but managed to win in the end, much to Skylor's relief. Skylor was announced as one of the opponents of the next match, where she went up against Jacob, the Master of Sound, in a vase-smashing match to find the Jade Blade. As the match started, she struggled to find the Jade Blade due to Jacob sensing her movements, but she absorbed his powers and let off a sonic wave. By this point, Garmadon told the ninja her true element was Amber, the power of absorption. She nearly got hit by darts but used the holes they made to confuse Jacob and take the Jade Blade, winning the match. Later, when the match between Lloyd and Camille was announced, she found herself constantly helping Kai back to his feet since he couldn't skate. When the match started, she asked him what could be gained should Lloyd be eliminated, but when he said he didn't think about it, she told him that he should before knocking him down. Throughout the match, she became convinced Kai being a horrible skater and indirectly sabotaging Lloyd was his way of getting him eliminated. She attempted to criticize him, but he lashed out that ninjas stay together, which she stated that she's not. Kai soon informed her of Chen's plan to take everyone's elemental powers, and she used gravity to keep the scorekeeper in check. After Lloyd won, Chen declared he cheated, but everyone stood up for him, including Skylor, who told him if everyone quits, there is no tournament. After Camille's elimination, she warned Kai that the ninja were playing a dangerous game, and Chen will look for other ways to knock them out of the tournament. Skylor was seen at the buffet with the other 7 masters and Garmadon when Chen decided to offer the Staff of Elements up for grabs. While dining, she found a fortune cookie with Cole's message of breaking out with Zane, which was meant for the ninja. She then gave Kai the fortune revealing Cole had found Zane so he could still trust her. Unbeknownst to her, however, Nia told the ninja one of their allies was a spy for Chen, putting her at risk of exposure. In Kai's room, she accused Nero of being the spy, revealing she absorbed his powers and nearly fought him. When Garmadon suggested everyone was checked for the Anachondrite tattoo, it soon came down to Skylor and Shade. She tried to guilt-trip Kai by saying he didn't trust her, but he stated he does. Luckily for her, Shade ran off before she revealed her tattoo. She then hid her tattoo using form and showed her back to Kai to mess with the ninja. Skylor later told Chen about Cole and Zane's escape, acknowledging him as her father, and joined him in laughing at their possible triumph.
Oh, damn.
For the next round of the tournament, Skylor and the other fighters boarded a blimp and were taken high above the island. There, she was dropped out of the blimp with the other finalists. Then she caught a parachute and deployed it. After a little time, she landed safely on the island and started finding Nia. A few hours later, Skylor met up with Kai and agreed to search for Nia with him. After seeing the explosion from Jay's electromech, Kai attempted to cross through a swamp thinking Nia was part of the explosion, but Skylor offered an alternative. Unfortunately, she made the mistake of freezing the water, which ultimately exposed her as the spy. Upon realizing this, Kai called her out and Skylor, proven guilty, sadly told him that she couldn't disobey her father, shocking Kai as he'd never thought that Skylor would be Chen's daughter, just his minion. Chen soon arrived and ordered Skylor to capture Kai, though Kai melted the ice, forcing Skylor to help her father from drowning. Kai ended up being captured and was left in shock with what Skylor had done. In the underground temple, Skylor witnessed the captured masters being chained down into position and looked away, though Kai told her that Chen still needed her power. She told him she didn't have a choice in being the spy and was flattered when he asked who planned to have him fall for her, as it worked. After her father took their powers, she told him to spare Kai as she saw inside his head and claimed he could be helpful in their cause. Chen saw that she liked him and granted her wish, releasing the Master of Fire. Later, Skylor went with her father, Klaus, and Kai to see Garmadon and Nia, who were captured and chained up in the Serpent's Den. Upon learning Chen got Kai to turn on Lloyd, Garmadon grabbed and threatened Skylor to be released, though Chen called his bluff and he let her go. This ultimately left her angered that her father didn't even worry for her. As Chen and Klaus went ahead to plan the ceremony, Kai pulled Skylor back, not only asking how she puts up with her father's ignorance, but also told her of his plan to destroy the Staff of Elements. When Skylor asked why he was telling her this, Kai stated that she let him go for a reason, with her feelings for him being the main reason, something she couldn't deny. When the ceremony began and Lloyd was brought in, Chen had Skylor give up her powers, which left her with a headache. Chen proceeded to take Lloyd's energy and had Klaus recite the spell. Kai then had Skylor position herself beside him, then told Chen he forgot the element of surprise, signaling Skylor to kick the staff out of her father's hands, and Kai used it to free Lloyd, holding off the cultists and freezing Klaus. Lloyd told him to destroy the staff, but Kai began to become corrupted by its power. Just before he used it on Lloyd and Skylor, the elemental masters busted in and attacked, causing him to drop the staff. Kai grabbed the staff before Chen did and destroyed it, restoring everyone's elements and allowing the ninja to capture the cultists, forcing Chen to escape with Skylor as his prisoner. Behind the waterfall, Skylor was chained up and guarded by Kapow and Chope. Chen soon discovered Skylor absorbed all of the elements of the elemental masters and realized she could help them finish the spell. Chen had Kapow and Chope release her, and he claimed he was wrong about everything. However, she immediately catched on to his true intentions and pointed out that the staff's crystal was destroyed. Chen revealed that it was found in the island's crystal caves, and they could go there to complete the spell since her power melded with all the others while in the staff. Skylor pointed out taking everything would be fatal to her and turned furious when her father dismissed the point for his selfish gain. She then used her powers to hijack a rocket board and escape, renouncing her father while doing so. Skylor sent a mental message to Neuro to warn the ninja of Chen's plans, and they moved out to find her. As she escaped, she was pursued by Chen and Klaus, but Garmadon and Cole held them off. Chen pursued her, but Kai came to her aid, and with both using the power of fire, they created a smokescreen which blinded Chen's path of vision. This proved to give them time for Skylor to use the power of form to turn into Kai and lure her father away from the area. As Kai and Skylor moved to regroup with the other masters, they were captured by Kapow and Chope with a Vengestone net. In the crystal caves, the transformation was revealed to have begun, Kapow reciting the spell in Klaus's place. As Chope finished the spell, Kai urged Skylor to resist the transformation. However, the transformation was completed, to which Chen cheered for. Sometime later, Kai's acceptance of her new form allowed him to summon an elemental fire dragon, which the two ride to join up with the other masters. They arrived after Chen's army escaped to conquer Ninjago in time for Kai to support Zane's theory of facing his fear after he summoned a titanium dragon. Kai's encouraging words motivated the other masters, allowing them to conquer their fears to summon their own elemental dragons. The elemental masters then flew back to Ninjago in order to stop Chen's forces. Upon returning to Ninjago City, Skylor was displeased as the citizens were scared of her serpentine-like appearance, wishing she could still change forms. Kai comforted her by saying she has changed mentally. As Lloyd sent the elemental masters on guard patrol, she noticed her hand turning back to normal, discovering the spell was temporary. Upon arriving at the Samurai X cave, Kai introduced her to Wu and Misako, the latter comforting her upon hearing she was Chen's daughter. Skylor remained at the cave while the ninja, Garmadon, and Wu went to find Pythor at Cryptarium Prison. While the ninja and the elemental masters were chasing the noodle trucks, she realized the trucks were pulling them away from the villages, making them fall into Chen's trap. After the ninja and the fighters were split up and the next Serpentine War had begun, Chen exposed Garmadon stealing the letter, causing Wu to angrily declare him as anything but a master, to which Skylor prevented him from attacking his brother. When everyone returned to the Samurai X cave, Kai remarked how fast the spell was wearing off. She was later present at the battle at the Corridor of Elders and attacked her father. Skylor then witnessed Chen being cursed by Arcturus, ignoring his pleas for help just as she turned human again. Later, Kai gave her an invite to join the team, but she declined as she had the noodle house to run. Just before being able to give him a farewell kiss, a begging Dareth barged in, with Skylor promising to reintroduce his favorite item,
Dareth.
the puffy pot sticker, much to his relief. After promising to keep in touch with Kai, she left.
Season 5, Possession.
True to her word, Skylor took over the family business and was serving there on New Year's Eve when Ronan was present. The two briefly discussed their past, to which seeing his arrow blade reminded her of the ninja.
Season 6, Skybound.
While Jay was seeking help to save the ninja, he asked Skylor for help. She then joined the ninja replacements team to get to New Ninjago. Skylor later grabbed a weapon to fight off the Sky Pirates while Jay got into the Jin Blade. Later, when the ninja, Misako, and Wu were free, she and the rest of Jay's team got ready to stop Nadakon's wedding with Nia. Skylor went with Sensei Wu and the rest of Jay's team to help Ninjago from the falling parts that Nadakon used to create New Ninjago.
Season 7, Hands of Time.
While at the Noodle House, Skylor was visited by Kai seeking advice, as he had just discovered evidence suggesting that his parents were villains. Speaking from experience, Skylor reassured him that just because his parents were evil didn't mean he would fall victim to their path in life. The two were briefly interrupted by the arrival of Nia, whom was aghast to find Skylor there, as the Master of Water believed her to be the new Samurai X. After confirming that she, in fact, was not the mysterious warrior, Skylor went to get the siblings' noodles, only to return to find neither still had an appetite. Skylor then attempted to provide the two with some insight on the matter, but they were quickly summoned away by Lloyd. Skylor wanted to help them, but the two siblings left, leaving Skylor alone to finish the uneaten noodles.
I'll eat those noodles. School for crooks.
When Kai visited the noodle house and mentioned how a new gang was supposedly recruiting members, Skylor thought back to a recent encounter with a few guys in a restaurant who had mentioned the school for crooks. Though Kai was planning on investigating with Zane, Skylor convinced the Master of Fire to team up with her for old time's sake. That evening, Skylor and Kai went to the docks, where they spotted and gave chase to the cloaked figure who was presumably the leader of the criminal school. The two finally cornered the stranger, only for him to reveal himself as Ronin.
Oh.
He explained that the School for Crooks was in fact a criminal reform course, and the gang Kai had heard about was something else entirely.
Stranger.
Skylor and Kai bid farewell to Ronin as he mentioned his appreciation for the noodle house's puffy pot stickers. Do I even have to say it?
Season 9. Hunted.
Skylor watched the cloaked figure hurry away from afar. Later on, she picked up Lloyd, Nia, Misako, Pixel, and Dareth after the Elemental Masters saved them from the Sons of Garmadon. Skylor took the ninja and the Elemental Masters to a hideout. Lloyd asked about her powers, and she revealed that her elemental powers have returned, and said that his will soon do the same. Skylor helped Nia in building weapons that could help them fight the Sons of Garmadon. She later helped Lloyd in infiltrating Garmadon's base before Garmadon began to approach them. Lloyd asked if she could combine elemental powers, to which Skylor successfully cloaked them from Garmadon. She was left exhausted after, but her friends helped her up. They then broke into Ultraviolet's broadcasting room and took control of the broadcast. Skylor watched as Lloyd gave his message before he stopped after seeing his previous loss to his father. Skylor noticed this on the screen and was worried Lloyd was shaken. However, she watched as he regained his composure and issued a challenge to his father. The Resistance celebrated Lloyd's speech and started planning on who else they could recruit to help them. When the Sons of Garmadon attacked the garbage depot, the Resistance fought them. Skylor eventually got on the armored vehicle with Lloyd, Nia, and Dareth. The Colossus stepped on them, but Pixel attacked Garmadon, freeing them. The remaining Resistance members tried to comfort Lloyd. When they saw a rat, she revealed herself to be Mistake. She told them she will explain how she was able to transform after she ate. With Ninjago City invaded by the Sons of Garmadon, the Resistance took shelter. They were shocked to hear Mistake was an Oni. When the Sons of Garmadon started asking who had seen Lloyd, the Green Ninja came up with a plan. The Resistance later took out the Sons of Garmadon and surrounded Hirumi. Hirumi informed the Resistance that the Sons of Garmadon would soon find her. Mistake and Skylor came in carrying the Oni Mask of Hatred, but Lloyd refused to use it. On the rooftop, the Resistance thought of a plan to pose Skylor as a prisoner and Mistake as her captor, being transformed into Hirumi. They would be able to get close enough to Garmadon so Skylor can copy his elemental power to control the Colossus. They set their plan into action, but Garmadon was suspicious when they noticed Hirumi didn't add that Skylor can copy elemental powers. They were interrupted when the real Hirumi approached them. Skylor was able to absorb Garmadon's power with the help of Mistake. After escaping, she informed the rest of the Resistance about Mistake's fate and tried to use her newfound power to control the Colossus. After struggling, she was able to control the Colossus for a while, but was poisoned and rendered unresponsive. As Skylor was unable to escape the Colossus on her own, she was dependent on Lloyd to carry her. They made it to the battle wagon and hit Ultraviolet with it. When Wu and the ninja met up with Lloyd, Nia, and Dareth in Ninjago City, Kai expressed his concern about Skylor after she was brought out of the battle wagon. Wu told Nia and Dareth to look after Skylor while the others tended to defeating Garmadon and the Colossus. After Garmadon lost his power, Skylor woke up in Kai's arms. Skylor was then seen celebrating with the ninja and the citizens of Ninjago, where she shared a sweet moment with Kai.
Season 10. March of the Oni.
Skylor and several of the ninja's many other allies visited the monastery to celebrate their victory over the Omega and the other Oni.
Amber Spiral.
One night, Skylor witnessed a vision of a village and a tomb that she didn't recognize. Suddenly, she began seeing her mother and wondered if she could still be alive. Refusing to believe that it was just a dream, Skylor was convinced that if she found that village, she would be reunited with her mother. But first, Skylor decided to recruit Camille to help track it down. Skylor later arrived at Camille's den and met up with the Master of Form. Skylor began describing the village that she saw in her vision, and, seconds later, Camille showed her an image of a town that looked identical to it. Even more convinced that her mother was still alive, Skylor and Camille started their journey to the village. Arriving at the village, the duo saw that the Red Star Carnival had everyone out in the village square. Skylor thought that this was the perfect opportunity to ask if anyone knew her mother and began asking away. But Camille, instead of helping, used her elemental power to mess with a magician named Egon the Extraordinary. With the festival dying down and still having no luck in finding clues to her mother's whereabouts, an annoyed Skylor met back up with Camille before the latter suggested talking to the performers. Skylor took her advice and knocked on the first trailer, but Egon the Extraordinary answered the door and attacked the pair for messing up his act. After dodging the furniture that was being thrown at them, the duo managed to knock the wand out of the magician's hand. Skylor then apologized to Egon and explained her quest to him. The magician later told her that he used to be a demolition expert and one day came across an ancient tomb that used to house his wand. Skylor believed that this tomb must have been the one from her vision and asked Egon to take them there in the morning. Once at the tomb, the trio witnessed
Stone
ancient
Army
relics
tomb?
scattered all over the place. Skylor noticed each one of them was embedded with chronosteel.
Okay,
Feeling
no.
the power emanating from the relics, Skylor believed that all of them contained an elemental power within. Skylor soon began getting mesmerized by a certain urn and felt that she had to touch it. As soon as Skylor touched the urn, she was pulled into a new vision. Her mother was there, along with the past elemental masters of Amber, but one loomed among them all, the original master of Amber. Skylor watched as the Metallonian blacksmith grew jealous of the elemental masters, crafting the very first chronosteel using the amber from a mystical tree. Using the chronosteel to mimic the elemental master's powers, the Metallonian channeled them into the Urn of Enmity, creating a new power, Amber. After witnessing the original master of Amber being sealed away in the urn, Skylor was shocked to learn that her own power wasn't an original element. Before she could do anything else, Skylor felt the original master of Amber trying to escape the urn, with an explosion of light occurring in the process. Once the light faded, Skylor saw the original master of Amber standing before her. She listened as the master explained how he had to take her power from her if he were to escape the urn. Skylor then began wondering if the vision of her mother was merely a trick to lead her into his trap.
I can't stop yawning.
Suddenly, Skylor felt the master draining her elemental power from her. As the two were battling over the amber, the original master explained to Skylor that amber was merely created to steal from others. However, Skylor rejected that claim and said that she would only use amber to help unify. Overwhelmed by Skylor, the original master dropped to the ground, and with his chains now broken, he was dragged into the departed realm. Looking at the portal, Skylor saw the silhouette of her father, Master Chen, before the gateway ultimately closed. Skylor woke up to find her and Egon alone in the wreckage, disappointed to learn that Camille had bolted with some of the artifacts. As the two collected the remaining relics, Skylor thought about her friends and how they had led her down a different path than the original master or her father, one without jealousy or loneliness. Coming to terms with the fact that her mother was truly gone, Skylor began looking forward to the future.
Season 14, Seabound.
Skylor appeared at Nia's memorial, mourning the departure of her good friend.
Season 15, Crystallize.
Skylor surprised Kai and the ninja when she arrived at the hangar bay. Lloyd then explained that he contacted her earlier. She explained how she can use her abilities to take Zane's place in freezing and stabilizing Nia's water body, so that he can help out the ninja at Cryptarium Prison. However, after a few hours, her powers began to fade. While the ninja were in the midst of breaking a sphere out of Cryptarium Prison, Skylor continued freezing Nia with the help of Pixel in the hangar bay. She exclaimed her concern with how long her powers would last. As her powers began to wear off, Zane returned in the nick of time to continue the freezing process. She then replicated Zane's ice power again to freeze Nia as the ninja set off to obtain Asphira's staff. As Skylor continued freezing Nia, she was again concerned about how long her powers would last until Zane returned to continue the freezing process. She later watched as Asphira absorbed Nia's elemental powers and as the ninja willingly turned themselves in to the police. Skylor attended the ninja's sentencing and wondered if the judge would be lenient. Later, Skylor commented to Wu on Nia's sense of powerlessness and feelings of guilt following the ninja's sentencing to Cryptarium prison. Wu responded that the ninja broke the law and thus still needed to be held accountable, and that Nia isn't powerless, recalling that before she became the water ninja, she was Samurai X. Skylor and Derek visited the ninja at Cryptarium prison. In the visitor's room, the ninja told them of the Crystal King organizing a council, and Skylor then informed them that Vangelis had escaped from his prison in Shintaro. As their visiting time was up, Jay asked Skylor how Nia was, and she said the judge is denying her visitation rights and that she blamed herself for their incarceration. Skylor was with Wu, Nia, and Pixel trying to track down the ninja from the hangar bay. Skylor and the others fought against the Council of the Crystal King to prevent them from stealing the golden weapons. Despite their efforts, they were eventually defeated in the end. Minipix 7 managed to save her, Pixel, and Wu from the rubble, and as the monastery burned down, Wu tried to rescue Nia, only to be stopped by Skylor and Pixel. However, Nia escaped in her Samurai X mech and went off to save the ninja. Skylor retreated with Wu, Pixel, and Minipix 7 to the old Samurai X cave and set up base there. Nia then returned with the 4 original ninja, and as they were reunited after a while, Skylor hugged both Kai and Nia. Skylor and the others then discussed what Harumi's plan could be with the golden weapons. Skylor watched as Lloyd tried multiple times and failed to achieve Oni form from Garmadon. Skylor arrived to save Kai and Cole from Pythor by absorbing their powers and creating a barrier to give them time to escape. As they hid in Benny's arcade emporium, they ended up stumbling across Jake, who also went to hide in the arcade. That was when Skylor received Wu's transmission on a walkie-talkie which included the motto, "The news never sleeps," which got them to realize Wu was at the newspaper warehouse. Arriving at the base, the group watched Jake reunite with his parents. While serving noodles to the survivors, Skylor and Kai used this time to talk about complications in their relationship. While battling the Crystal Warriors with the other Resistance members, the Vengestone rendered Skylor's powers useless, so she was forced to fight with a bat. When it seemed that all hope was lost, the ninja's other allies appeared to fight with them. Skylor then watched as the ninja achieved dragon form. When the golden weapons were finally purified by the ninja, the Crystal Warriors were rendered powerless, allowing Skylor to destroy many of them. Skylor was among the many people who cheered for the ninja's victory over the OverLloyd. A week later, Skylor assisted in rebuilding the monastery, where she and Kai interacted, before being jump-scared by Dareth.
Quest for the lost power.
Having begun dating, Skylor comforted a depressed Kai when suddenly some goons barged into the noodle house. Kai tried to take them out, but was easily defeated, so Skylor took care of them, furthering Kai's hopelessness. When the news announced that the Fire Fiends, a gang who worshipped Firefang, were attacking a town, Kai believed that this was his chance to get his fire back. Skylor decided to go with Kai, to which the Fire Ninja reluctantly agreed. The day after, the two drove to the town that was attacked by the Fire Fiends. The villagers were happy to see them and told them the location of Firefang, but suddenly the Fire Fiends launched another attack. Kai was getting slammed by the Fire Fiends, so Skylor helped by knocking down a water tower. After the battle was over, Kai repeatedly told her that he didn't need her help, to which Skylor was getting more and more impatient with. Kai wanted her to stay and defend the village while he would go and face Firefang, but Skylor refused, believing that the village was safe. With that, the couple drove towards the Lake of Fire. At the entrance to the mountain, Skylor wanted to think of a plan before entering, but Kai ran straight in, collapsing the floor beneath him. Skylor quickly saved the Fire Ninja, but instead of receiving gratitude, Kai lashed out at Skylor, exclaiming that he didn't need to be saved and that she should just leave. A hurt Skylor then walked away, but never actually left Kai's side. As Kai was about to be roasted by Firefang's fiery breath, Skylor blocked the flame with a trash lid and ran with Kai through the exit tunnel. Once they made it back to the Lake of Fire, Skylor saw that Kai's fire power had returned,
That song
much
sounds
to her
good in the
surprise.
background.
Skylor then touched Kai's arm to absorb his elemental power, and together the two
Didn't
fought
realize
off the
that.
fire fiends. As her powers began to fade, Skylor watched as Kai finished the villains off with Spinjitzu. However, Firefang emerged from his cave and attempted to roast the two. But together, the couple managed to knock the giant snake to the ground. The villagers later arrived to help Skylor and Kai put out the Lake of Fire. Once the fire was put out, Skylor noticed that Firefang was gone, believing that it turned back into elemental energy. Skylor and Kai then drove back to Ninjago City to celebrate their victory. And to eat puffy pot stickers, of course. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, but always remember that Skylor with an O is better than Skylor with an E. But in all seriousness, make sure to leave down in the comments what character you would like to see me go over next time. And remember, never put off until tomorrow what can be done today.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Oh wait, was there like an after ending? Oh, okay. They're fine.
My name is Skylor White, yo. My husband is Walter White, yo. Uh-huh. He told me everything.
Oh, that's Breaking Bad. Okay, alright. Okay, well that was the complete history of Skylor. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. That was like, I think the part 3 one is still longer. Yeah, well, okay, anyhow, peace.